We're the Brothers Merrill. I'm Adam.
Yeah, and I'm Sean.
And today we wanted to do a review of the movie Thor Ragnarok that just came out a couple days ago. I don't know. What did you think of the movie, Sean?
I really liked it. I really liked it. I've been thinking about it for the past few days, and I can't stop thinking about it. And that's always, for me, that's always a sign that I really like it. I've been telling everyone to go see it, so that's a good sign, I think.
Yeah, for me, I have to watch a movie, and then by the next day, that's when I know if I liked the movie. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of the times, I'll be watching the movie, and I'll just be kind of caught up into everything, and then it's the next day that I'm and I've slept on it. I'm like, I liked that movie, or that movie wasn't that great. Kind of has to soak in.
Also, the second viewing I think is important. So this is one I definitely want to see again, because if I see it again and I'm like, yeah, it's still good, then that for me is yeah. Because I remember watching The Incredibles, and the first time I was like, but the second time I came out of it just loving it.
Another good superhero movie there.
Right? Yes.
Well, I had heard it was funny, and that it was also really good. I didn't know what to expect, because I feel like there's so many superhero movies. I was laughing a lot. Who knew Thor could be so funny? He's not one of the Avengers that you think funny Avenger. You know, you don't think when you think Iron Man, or mostly Iron Man actually.
Yeah,
Iron Man. Iron Man's the funniest.
Ant-Man,
Okay, Ant-Man. Spider-Man. Okay, so there are a few funny ones, but Thor is not one of the ones you think, oh, he's the funniest.
Yeah,
but there were some lines that I was like, I don't know. Chris Hemsworth was really funny.
Yeah, he had good timing. He, kind of the brawnish, brutish, tough guy. I don't know. I thought he pulled it off. He had really good chemistry, I thought, with Tom Hiddleston.
Tom, yeah.
That was there. Yeah. But then also Mark Ruffalo.
Hulk.
That was absolutely brilliant.
There were some really funny exchanges between Hulk and Thor.
Yeah. That just had me dying.
Also, there are scenes that when I talk about them now, get goosebumps because they were so cool.
Right.
There were some scenes that were just what?
Yeah. Scenes that make you want to go see it again. I think when you see the villainess Hela fighting, she just fights with such fluidity and with such brutality that it's just terrifying. I was talking to someone about how every time you see her, you're just like, get out, because she's gonna get you, and she's gonna throw something through your chest, and it's gonna kill you. And one thing I did want to bring up was I thought they balanced the humor and the serious, kind of the moments that had heart, because sometimes when it's all funny, I feel like it can kind of go off the rails a little and just be kind of a mess of a movie that doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
But I feel like they had a nice balance.
People who have said that they thought this was the funniest Marvel movie to date.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I would absolutely agree with them. I was laughing more than I've ever laughed in a Marvel movie. So
I think for
thoughts?
me, I think it's a tie between that and Ant-Man.
That's Paul
Rudd, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's a comedian, and
he knows humor, so
absolutely.
So, Sean, what was your favorite quote in the movie?
So, I loved the thing when Thor's pinned down, Hela's gonna kill him, she's already gouged out one of his eyes, and the cool little cut scenes with the where you see Odin approaching, and he kind of, Thor kneels down in the grass and just he's like, I can't beat her, she's got everything over me, and he kind of brings up that he doesn't have his hammer. I've lost my hammer. And he just looks at him and says, Thor, are you the god of hammers? And I don't remember everything that was said after that, but that was just such a light bulb moment where you're like,
Yeah.
Because we all bought into it too. I think
Well,
we're like
yeah.
Thor.
Because you're like, oh wait, his title is God of Thunder.
yeah.
He's not the God of Hammers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was, oh man.
Absolutely brilliant. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? What was your favorite?
Aw,
quote?
you took mine.
Okay,
That was
great.
my
Yeah.
favorite. Although, okay, if we're okay,
Mm.
funny quotes.
Okay,
We're talking
what's
funny
yours
quotes.
for that?
Okay, and I guess I might have to go with like as kind of my favorite character too
Okay.
was Korg.
Okay. Yeah.
The
rock
giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was so funny. But like it's the scene where Loki comes in and he's like talking to Thor in the cell and like Thor like throws something at him, like Loki leaves, and then Korg just like very uncoordinatedly just like goes up to the wall and like kicks it and like hits it. He's just like, piss off, you ghost.
Yeah.
He just like, and then the other guy comes, he's like, he's freaking gone. Like,
Yeah. That was funny.
That part, oh man, that was the funniest line I thought.
Korg, just his whole persona, his like
Gosh.
gentle giant
Mm.
approach to things. Like
I'm trying to start a revolution.
but I didn't print enough pamphlets, and so only my mother and her boyfriend showed up, and I hate him. Like, yeah, he was
Oh, kind of stole the show.
absolutely yeah, #1 show stealer for both of us. I think probably Korg.
Did you have a favorite character?
Favorite character, I think Thor. I just really
Yeah,
liked,
just Thor.
and I liked the character development that went on. He just felt like more to me than he had in the past. Like, I think it's true of this. He kind of gained like, I think the first 2 Thor movies gained like real estate, or like the value of those 2 movies went up because of this one, because you saw that Thor, you know, he felt things deeply. You kind of understood his character a little more, I thought, because of some conversations that are had with Loki, where you kind of see who Thor is not, because you see that Loki is very different from Thor in certain ways.
That's interesting.
Kind of that Thor really does see himself as a hero, and he kind of owns that. Like, yeah, I'm a hero, and I believe in being a hero.
Cool.
I don't know. So I thought Thor really became more confident in who he was. Like, even from the first and second movie, it just became clear to me, oh, this is who Thor is.
Yeah.
He's like a hero, and he says, because that's what heroes do. When someone says, hey, it's impossible, you can't stop Ragnarok, and he says, but we try anyway, because that's what heroes do.
Yeah.
Like,
That's right.
that's kind of what Thor is. He's kind of an idiot, and he's kind of a hard-headed, because he doesn't...
Almost a little naive.
Right. Naive, yeah, like people would say, well,
This,
yeah, well,
no, just like, yeah, this false ideal.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But he doesn't buy into like oh, like the age of heroes is over. He's like, no, I'm
But
still
it's
gonna
like,
be a hero.
Yeah, it's like, it's almost a strength that he has that naivety.
Yeah, that childlike facet to his character, which, by the way, is definitely brought up in the Hulk as well. He's like a big 5-year-old, but like, and there are some very enjoyable scenes where you watch these 2 little kids kind of just throwing stuff at each other and like
true.
going back and forth.
That is so true.
But
That's
they're both
funny.
kind of like that. They're both kind of like these
Oh,
kids
yeah.
with a lot of power. And yeah, I just had a blast watching that. Like, the Hulk is maybe like, if Thor is like 9 years old, Hulk is like 5 years old. Like, they kind of are both. I don't know.
Yeah, they're like siblings. Like
Right.
Like the Hulk is almost like the little brother of Thor, but they're like both little kids. That's funny.
That's a good way to put it. You were telling me about the moment
when he lost his eye.
right,
Oh my gosh.
how it gouges it out in a fight.
So with that, we had seen like in Thor: The Dark World, Thor like gets his hand cut off, right? And
Right.
you're like, oh my gosh, what? But then But then you find out it's just fake.
You're right.
And so when Hela knocks out Thor's eye, I'm like, okay.
And it looks awful.
Yeah,
It's like,
I'm like, okay, yeah, like he's like the main character. Like he can't lose an eye. But it was for real. Like his eye was gone.
Right, me too.
I was like,
what? No.
Thor doesn't have an eye now.
I just wanted to talk about the significance, I think, of Thor losing his eye. Because I kind of felt like, in a way, Odin, like, his loss of his eye, it was, I mean, from the MCU, we hear that was in the battle with the Frost Giants.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he loses his eye. And that was kind of, to me, I thought, like a symbol of, like, the sacrifice that it takes to become king. You know, and Odin, like, he really, that was kind of his badge or his medal of kingship. You know, he needed to sacrifice much to become king. And I just thought that it was interesting that Thor, you know, even in, like, his advent to kingship, like, you know, with the migration song playing and him leading his people to a new land, you know, he loses his eye. And then right before the moment where he takes the throne, like he kind of has that moment in his chambers where he like puts on the eye patch.
Yeah.
And it's like, to be a king of Asgard, you need to know true sacrifice.
So my favorite scene
Mm-hmm.
was the battle on the Rainbow Bridge,
Mm-hmm.
where Thor has just found that he doesn't need his hammer,
Right. Okay.
and he goes in and fights the undead army of Hela.
Right.
Because he just like, you just see them like, they almost are like piling up towards him, and he's coming down in slow motion.
Yeah.
And you've got the Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin playing, and you're just like, oh my goodness. Yeah. And he just starts like, he's like fighting them, and he'll like take on like two, but then like lightning will be like coming off of him and hitting like other ones around him, and like you'll have like an aerial view, and he's like going around, and you'll see like lightning go and like hit two more.
Yep.
Oh, that scene was so cool.
Super cool.
So like some of the lyrics, this is so cool. So it says, "We come from the land of ice and snow, from the midnight sun where the hot springs flow." And then after that it says, "The hammer of the gods. We'll drive our ships to new lands to fight the horde and sing and cry, Valhalla, I am coming."
Yeah.
And like, Valhalla is Norse mythology.
Yeah.
And then like the hammer of the gods. "On we sweep a threshing oar. Our only goal will be the western shore." Yeah.
Yeah. Because you think about what's happening. I felt like Thor's, kind of the advent of Thor as king of Asgard.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, like they're going to a new land, like he is going to lead them. You know, maybe he doesn't have his hammer, but he is leading them to a new land. And they're literally getting on a boat of sorts, you know, that spaceship, and they're heading off to the western shore. You know, they're coming to Earth, and he's going to lead them there. And so it was kind of him coming onto his own.
That was perfect. Like, yeah, couldn't have picked a better song.
But one thing that I did want to bring up, I just thought it was kind of beautiful, was the bit about how Heimdall tells Thor, and then Odin reiterates it. It's said a few times that Asgard is not a place, it's a people. Here, like, Asgard is kind of exiled, you know, like in the end their land is destroyed, you know, in kind of this Armageddon type end of world. So death and hell just like destroying Asgard, you know, and like it's gone. And they're just set adrift. But it's neat to me that like Asgard, that was not Asgard, because the people made it out. Yeah. There's kind of like this, you know, like little almost plastic looking chair, you know, in that spaceship, and like, but like all of Asgard, you know, the people, and that is Asgard. Asgard is present, and they bring Thor to this little space chair, and they say, "This is your throne." And as he takes the throne, the old motif, the dun 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 dun,
Yeah,
and he like looks out over space,
that was
and
cool.
like that theme comes back, and it's like Thor is the king of Asgard. That was beautiful to me.
It was good. Good movie.
Yeah.
Definitely worth seeing.